Today we're going to make cannelés, super easy and absolutely delicious. We're going to start by first splitting a vanilla bean down the middle and removing all the vanilla from inside the pod. Do this by cutting down just the middle and then using your knife to scrape up, pulling all of the little seeds out. And if you don't have a vanilla bean, vanilla extract is totally okay. You'll need about a teaspoon of vanilla extract or one whole bean. This is going to go into a sauce pot along with 750 grams of whole milk and 70 grams of butter unsalted. And then this is going to go onto the stovetop just till it comes to a simmer and all that butter is melted. In the meantime, 100 grams of eggs and 75 grams of cognac or rum. And we're going to mix that into a Vitamix, or you can do this by hand. Mix it all well together. And I'm using whole eggs here, but you can use totally 100 grams of just egg yolks. So what I used was 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. We're going to add in the sugar and the AP flour or bread flour, so 250 grams of flour and 375 grams of sugar, and we're going to mix this. It doesn't have to get all the way mixed together, but just kind of get it into a thick paste. And do keep an eye out on your milk so that it doesn't scald and you get that burnt milk taste. So once your milk and butter have come to a simmer and the butter is completely melted, we're going to add that to your egg, flour, and sugar mixture. And we're going to want to blend this very, very well. So if you have a Vitamix or a NutriBullet or a Ninja or whatever your food processor is, if you have one of those big enough to hold all this is going to make it a lot easier because you really want to combine everything together so it's silky smooth and you have no chunks. So really let it blend on high for a good 5 minutes till everything's combined. And make sure you do head over to the website so you can follow along with the recipe and the amounts. And a cool little story about cannelés is they were made in Bordeaux from nuns that were given the egg yolks from the wineries because they used egg whites to clarify the wine. So kind of a byproduct from the wine industry, which is really cool. And they almost look burnt and inedible, but they're so good. So once this is all blended together, we're going to put this into containers and we're going to let this sit for 24 hours at least. You can definitely go ahead and bake the same day. They just come out a little better and you won't get as many white spots on the final product. So just let it sit for 24 hours, 12 hours in the fridge. Alright, so it's been 24 hours since we've made our cannelé batter. Give it a mix, make sure everything's together, and we're going to now butter our tins that have been preheating in a 400 Fahrenheit oven. When buttering, just a light coating. You don't want any collection at the bottom of the tin because this will leave little white spots on the final product. So go ahead, a little butter in each, and if you need to pour it out, go ahead. You don't want any collection at the bottom. You're also going to want to use this batter right out of the fridge cold. Don't let it get to room temperature. And when filling up your molds, don't fill them all the way to the top. Fill them about 3/4 of the way, as they will rise. And if you fill them to the top, they're going to kind of spill over. So give it a little wiggle room so when it does expand, you don't have a huge mess in your oven. I recommend doing it over a sheet tray in case that spill does happen. And the butter will kind of leak out as it cooks and boils. So this will just kind of reduce the mess in the oven. These are going to go in for 55 minutes at 400 degrees. So once they're done, you're going to just plop them out onto a wire rack. They're going to be soft, and this is where all that sugar on the outside is going to harden because it's been caramelized. So let them cool before even digging into them. Plus, they are screaming hot in the center. So give it a little bit of time. As you can see, there are some little white spots, and that's just where there was a little too much butter in that tin, and it just collected and didn't allow it to caramelize. And here you can see one that wasn't fully cooked versus what it should look like. The white one being soft, and the darker one being like a rock, and all the caramelized sugar on the outside, so it's absolutely delicious. If you enjoy the video, please subscribe and go ahead and give it a like. Make sure you do head over to the website so you can follow along with the recipe and see other recipes that we've made. Thank you for watching.